Advertisement. Sign in register. In featured articles, male, fairies. Jorgen Von Strangle. Character trivia appearances gallery. Scramble the fairies. I love scrambling the fairies. Jorgen Von Strangle. Jorgen Von Strangle is a major character in the Fairly Odd Parents. He is known by Timmy as the fairy who enforces the rules. He is the strongest fairy that exists in fairy world and is the boss or commander of all fairies, including anti-fairies which we see he guards in prison. His girlfriend and later wife is the Tooth Fairy. He is the only one of the fairies with jet wings, because he believes wings are too girly. He appears in disguises, for example as animals, i.e. a rhinoceros or a mussel, or as a potted cactus with a slight humanoid shape. He often acts mean towards his assistant named Binky. Jorgen also appears in the short-lived sequel series to The Fairly Odd Parents, The Fairly Odd Parents, Fairly Odder, and like in the original series, he is voiced by Darren Norris. He shows up again in The Fairly Odd Parents, A New Wish, now with a noticeably altered design. He is still voiced by Darren Norris. Contents: hide 1 character, 1.1 description, and 40 more English. View source 109. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. 1.2. Personality. 2 Background. 2.1. Fairly Odd Fairy Tales. 2.2. Future Life. 3 Counterparts. 4 References. Character. Jorgen is the strongest and toughest fairy in fairy world, and is the commander of the fairy godparents, but not of all the fairy world, because the fairy council probably commands more than him, although the extent of how powerful or how much he commands is not exactly clear. When Jorgen was introduced, he was more of an enemy of Timmy, and in a few cases tried to get Timmy's godparents taken away. He often took great pleasure in harassing everyone around him. As the show went on, Jorgen seemed to warm up to Timmy, Cosmo and Wanda, and he has become more of an ally than an adversary. He even admitted that Cosmo, Wanda, and Timmy were his closest friends. Sometimes, Timmy must also clean up after the messes Jorgen makes, like when Fairy World lost all the power it was drawing from Mr. Crocker when he stopped believing in fairies, 1, and when Foop escaped Jorgen's custody in a breakatras to terrorize Poof Fairy Winkle Cosma. 2. Description. Jorgen has tanned complexion, a whiter tarp hairdo, and eyes that are as blue as Timmy's. Unlike all the other fairies, Jorgen is very tall, to the point he can pass as a very tall human adult, as well as extremely muscular. Like all fairies, he has a gold crown on his head. His outtee is mainly a tight muscle green war tank top, black knee-high steel-toe combat boots, and green army camouflage pants, as well as spiked bracelets on his arms and studded boots, which is a homage to the military uniform worn by Arnold Schwarzenegger's character's Alan Dutch Schiefer from the 1987 SCI thriller, Predator. During formal occasions, Jorgen wears a white formal suit while keeping his combat boots, sometimes with the sleeves of the suit torn. He also has the biggest chin in Fairy World, and the second biggest chin in FOP Universe, RST being the Crimson Chin. A joke in the series is that his head is shaped like the number V, due to his big chin and a tarp hair. Other jokes include the several times where he tends to show his gluts in front of everyone, and how his size increases and decreases per scene. Usually he is only a head or two over the size of a normal human adult, yet on other occasions, to emphasize his great power and strength, he will appear to be at least 8 feet tall. He has jet wings that come out of his back, especially in Jorgen sitting on Cosmo and Wanda. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. The Oh Yeah! Cartoons short the temp, and instead of a wand, he carries what looks like a star taller than he is with a huge yellow star on its tip. As of the Fairly Odd Parents, A New Wish, his design is slightly different due to him being somewhat older. He now has pupils like all the other characters, as well as a goatee, and he wears a green t-shirt with ripped sleeves, a grey argyle sweater vest, khaki shorts with the same pattern as his original pants, white socks and black sandals. Personality. Jorgen has a personality of toughness, but, like all fairies, he is scared of butterfly nets. He is very sadistic and laughs only toward the misfortune of others. His only friends are Cosmo and Wanda as revealed in Teeth for Two, as his tendency to harass and bully others leave him with little friends, whereas the trio seems to have more tolerance to his sadistic behavior. His closeness toward them is shown when the Tooth Fairy dumped him for a while, as he cried for around 2 weeks hugging, or choking, Cosmo and Wanda, which annoyed Timmy, causing him to do a lot of insane stew until Timmy could get Jorgen and the Tooth Fairy back together. This showed how much the three cared for him as well. Jorgen seems to accept everybody, but hates overbearing stupidity, such as Cosmo, loud nagging, such as Wanda, and constant ignorance, such as Timmy. Jorgen is also extremely arrogant, and sometimes even vain, often berating others while showing his large muscles. He loves to incite humiliation and pain, but is a very close friend otherwise. He even takes care of Binky and reads him a story when he is sick, on Timmy the Barbarian. During the Oh Yeah! Cartoons and the RST season, Jorgen often showed limited emotion, with only an occasional smirk whenever he won something, such as an argument, a court case, or a competition. From the second season onward, Jorgen showed more emotion, mainly laughing in an evil and slightly odd fashion. In a catastrophe, he becomes a bit friendlier, possibly because Timmy showed promise after keeping his fairies for a whole year. Something most children his age found difficult. Currently, he is a much friendlier person than in the RST 3 seasons, treating his friends better. In the Big Fairy Share Scare, he was very happy that Chloe became his fairy godchild after his concerns about fairy godparent shortage. Jorgen's dress, accent and mannerisms are apparently a parody of Eastern European action heroes of the 1980s such as Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dolph Lundgren and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Background. His wife was the Tooth Fairy, 3, who was originally his girlfriend at the start of the series. Evil Jorgen was also the villain of the episode Action Pact. Jorgen is an anti-hero, but can occasionally become an antagonist. He can be a bully most of the time. He will beat up Binky and, literally, sit on Cosmo and Wanda. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Crushing them in the process, and showing signs of relief, indicating comfort and achillance. There is no one in fairy world who is stronger than he is. However, Big Daddy threatened to plow him with garbage every day for all his life, which in fairy world means forever. Although many believe this, and Santa Claus's defeat of him in Merry Wishmas are ours in the series. He seems to enjoy bullying Binky to no end. But other than him, he enjoys bullying Cosmo and Wanda, despite them being his closest friends. He loves humiliating Wanda and scaring Cosmo. He can't help but to bully Wanda as much as possible, and blaming her for most of the catastrophes that often put people's lives at risk, despite the clear fact that it is usually Cosmo's and Timmy's fault. Of course, telling of either of those two would be like yelling at a brick wall. Wanda clearly knows she can't do anything about this, so she snaps at Cosmo instead. However, when it came to Timmy, or anyone else she isn't afraid to snap and tell Jorgen. It is rare that this has an EECT, however. Other than Wanda, Jorgen enjoys bullying Cosmo. However, while he enjoys beating Wanda, he has a closer relationship with the weak, dumb, and pathetic Cosmo, but still tends to hurt him. It gets worse for Cosmo and Wanda, as they can't do anything about it because Jorgen is the head of Fairy World, and can do anything he wants as a result, as he is in charge of all the fairies. As a result of his highly abrasive behavior, most fairies react to Jorgen with fear. When Jorgen nowly admits that Cosmo, Wanda and Timmy are his closest friends, Cosmo can only react with understandable incredulity. Jorgen eventually retorts with, "I don't harm any friends, okay?" The only other characters he has shown any closeness to are the Tooth Fairy and his grandmother, Nana Boom Boom. Due to all this, he loves his life and can be very cocky and arrogant. He is also somewhat of a glory hog. Especially in the Fairly Odd Olympics, where, even though he won most of the games for the fairies, he wouldn't let any of them play in even one game, believing he deserved the right due to his athletic ability, physique, and because he looks good in tights. His greatest loves in the world are being in charge, his muscles, bullying people, and humiliating the pixies and the anti-fairies. Jorgen is the only non-holiday, i.e. Cupid, or important event themed, i.e. the Tooth Fairy, fairy without a godchild, i.e. Cosmo and Wanda. This is due to his love of extreme and manly things, the wishes he grants. Re-ECT this and he ends up endangering his godkids, i.e. a wish for a puppy makes him poof up a vicious giant dog, if what he put Timmy through as his temporary fairy is any indication. In the Oh Yeah shorts, he has a godchild named Winston, who seems to be Terry Ed whenever Jorgen is near him. Winston was never seen again. It is possible that Jorgen, or at the very least his grandmother, was one of the fairies explained in Wishology, when the fairies were for battling purposes only. Jorgen bullying Binky with his mighty muscles. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Fairly Odd Fairy Tales. At the beginning of this episode, Wanda said that the fairy tales that she was reading happened to real fairies. There is a story called Jorgen and the Beanstalk. Since the main character of the story is also called and resembles Jorgen, he might be the same Jorgen as Jorgen Von Strangle. Future life. Main article, A Fairly Odd Movie, Grow Up, Timmy Turner. Jorgen Von Strangle appears in the live-action movie A Fairly Odd Movie. Grow Up, Timmy Turner. He is played in live action by Mark Gibbon. In the movie, Jorgen has decided to make Timmy grow up, because he thinks that the longer he keeps Cosmo, Wanda and Poof, the bigger of a risk he puts them in danger of being exposed or captured. Jorgen tries to make Timmy fall in love, using Cupid's love arrows, but he continually misses due to something hitting his face and ends up making the hall monitor fall in love with the school mascot, and then a raccoon fall in love with an animal control. Then, on his last attempt, he shoots Vicky instead of Timmy and ends himself being pursued by her. The same way Tootie used to pursue Timmy. After losing Vicky, he goes to Timmy, who immediately makes it clear that his godparents are gone now, but Jorgen notes he already knows that and quickly summons Tootie and Timmy to Fairy Court. He then reveals to Timmy and Tootie that the Fairy Court has agreed that Timmy can keep Cosmo and Wanda as his godparents as well as Poof, so long as he uses their magic for sales purposes. Counterparts. Disco. With myself. Outrageous. Jorgen Von Strangle and 70s Jorgen Von Strangle, The Secret Origin of Denzel Crocker. Jorgen has a counterpart called Anti-Jorgen, who, like all anti-fairies, has the personality which is completely opposite from the real fairies. Jorgen's anti-fairy was shown in A Fairly Odd Parents comic book, and in the Anti-Poof special. He is apparently 2.5 inches tall, and wears a tutu. Jorgen also becomes evil. Jorgen in the episode Action Packed. Timmy's wish turns him into a stereotypical movie villain with a monocle and a pet cat. Evil Jorgen's plan was to suck the life force out of all the fairies using a magic draining machine. Timmy reverses the machine on evil Jorgen and it turns him into a puny, bony guy with no muscles. Jorgen as he appears in Grow Up. Timmy Turner. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Fan feed. 1 Piri. 2. The Fairly Odd Parents, A New Wish. 3 Timmy Turner. Also in The Secret Origin of Denzel Crocker, he said my funky 70s counterpart. This is the past version of Jorgen from the 1970s, he has an afro and likes to dance to disco. Jorgen's appearance in Pixies Incorporated was supposedly named his free-lifed counterpart, which is what Jorgen called it. He had a pogo stick, which, as he said, was part of his counterpart. References. Crocker Shocker. The Fairly Odd Parents. Nickelodeon. The 28th of September, 2009. Playdate of Doom. The Fairly Odd Parents. Nickelodeon. The 7th of April, 2010. Teeth for Two. The Fairly Odd Parents. Nickelodeon. The 17th of February, 2005. Jorgen Von Strangle. Character Guide. Jorgen's Godchild, Winston. Piri. Fairly Odd Parents Wiki. Cosmo. Fairly Odd Parents Wiki. Poof. Fairly Odd Parents Wiki. Dev Dimmadome. Fairly Odd Parents Wiki. Wanda. Fairly Odd Parents Wiki. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Tooth Fairy. Fairly Odd Parents Wiki. Timmy Turner. Fairly Odd Parents Wiki. Vicky. Fairly Odd Parents Wiki. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF.